At the 2020 Victorian Early Years Awards, Ardoch's Curious Young Minds Early STEM Literacy program won an award for improving access and participation in early learning. Ardoch is a children's education charity delivering support programs to increase engagement in education, build aspirations and enhance learning outcomes for vulnerable children. We spoke to Ardoch Chief Executive Officer Kylie Bates about the Curious Young Minds Early STEM Literacy program.
Ardoch's Curious Young Minds program was developed to engage kindergarten children in STEM learning. We'd identified that 75% of occupations in the future are going to require these skills, and it's really critical that children from a young age develop these skills. So the program is a play-based activity program developed for Ardoch by Deakin University. We recruit, train and engage volunteers to deliver this program in early years services under the direction of kindergarten teachers. Volunteers commit at least 2 hours a week every week for a minimum of 6 months and work with the students to engage them in a range of activities that increase their curiosity and engagement in the range of STEM subjects. The first thing to know about the Curious Young Minds program, it's been developed by Ardoch, but in partnership with Deakin University. So it's a play-based activity program that is aligned to the early years framework and the curriculum. We know that educators want trusted and reliable people in the classroom with them supporting them. So we recruit, train and place volunteers in early years services. We provide each participating centre with a Curious Young Minds resource box that contains specially designed products and tools and resources for the volunteers' use when they're in the classroom. It's really the role of the educator to identify which children they would like the volunteer to work with on a weekly basis or over a period of time. The volunteer comes on a regular basis, 2 hours a week, every week at the same time, and is there to support and work under the direction of the educator. We know that educational disadvantage has a lifetime impact on children who experience it. So Ardoch's programs seek to work with early years services and schools in disadvantaged communities to provide opportunities that might not otherwise be available. We know that many children in disadvantaged communities do not have access to the same resources and social networks. So by providing trained volunteers and access to a program like Curious Young Minds, these children are getting access to activities and other positive role models in the community who can teach them the value of the skills that they're learning through the STEM program. Ardoch developed the Curious Young Minds program in 2016 and we've been progressively rolling it out since 2017. In 2021, we expect to work with more than 50 early years services across Melbourne, and we are actually exploring the feasibility of potentially rolling this out and expanding it into regional Victoria if we can secure the necessary funding over time. In terms of the program's impact, we've had great feedback from educators from a number of perspectives. One, they value the presence of skilled and trained and supported volunteers in the classroom, something that many early years services just simply don't have the capacity to arrange for themselves. Secondly, the fact that the program is aligned to the curriculum really helps educators target children's learning, especially as they get ready to begin prep in the subsequent years. Our educators really value the program, and a sign of that is that they're happy to continue the program year on year, and in fact we've just recently signed up working with another 15 early years services across Melbourne who are keen to embrace the program. Ardoch was really excited to be named the winner of the Access and Participation Award in the Early Years Awards in 2020. We know that children in disadvantaged communities don't always have access to opportunities that their more advantaged peers do. So the ability to recognise our educators and our education partners who are really making this commitment to accessing these additional opportunities for students is something that we really value in terms of the partnership model that we work in. 2020 was obviously a really challenging year for educators, especially in Victoria, and the fact that we weren't able to provide volunteers into classrooms because of social distancing restrictions meant we really needed to think about how we could keep our volunteers engaged and ready for when they could return to those classrooms. So we're really fortunate to be able to film some of our really experienced volunteers demonstrating many of the activities in the program to be able to give confidence to our newer volunteers so that when they can return, as they can this year, they'll be ready to deliver those programs and support those children who have actually missed out over the last 12 months by virtue of not being able to go to kinder or less engagement. And we really see this program, as well as our other early years programs, as a continuum of support for children experiencing disadvantage, as we also work with primary and secondary schools in the same disadvantaged communities that our early years partners are in.